The courtroom was dead quiet until a sharp, fearless voice cut through the air. "Your Honor, I object to this entire proceeding." Every head turned. A 13-year-old girl stood up, her tiny frame dwarfed by the mahogany benches and looming suits around her. "My father is innocent," she declared, "and I can prove it." The laughter started in low murmurs. A child defending a man accused of corporate theft? Ridiculous. But what happened next made even the judge drop her gavel mid-sentence. This wasn't a plea. This was war. No one in that room knew that this girl had been secretly studying law for 3 years, memorizing statutes while her father scrubbed marble floors at the same firm that had now betrayed him. Today, Maya Thompson wasn't just a daughter. She was about to become the most dangerous person in that courtroom. Marcus Thompson had polished those hallways for 20 years. Not once had he left so much as a fingerprint out of place. He was invisible by design. Until someone decided to make him visible for the wrong reason. The accusation came like a knife in the dark, theft of million-dollar files. No warning, no evidence that made sense. Just a name on a police report. A man in handcuffs and whispers of betrayal echoing through the marble corridors. The partners didn't look at him when the police arrived. Easier that way. Easier to treat loyalty like garbage. Marcus didn't resist. He just kept saying, "There's been a mistake." But no one listened. No one except Maya. And Maya wasn't going to cry in a corner. She was going to fight. Not with fists, with the one weapon no one saw coming, the law itself. Maya sat in the principal's office, her heart pounding like a war drum. "They arrested your father," the woman said softly. The words felt like bullets. Arrested? Her father, the man who returned lost wallets, who wouldn't take an extra nickel from a broken vending machine, accused of corporate espionage? Impossible. But Maya wasn't a normal 13-year-old. While other kids watched cartoons, Maya devoured law books in a dusty office library. While her father mopped floors, she memorized cases that toppled corporations. Now it wasn't a hobby. It was a lifeline. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She picked up a notebook, clicked her pen, and said, "Tell me everything." In that moment, Maya Thompson stopped being a daughter. She became her father's last chance, and in 3 days she would walk into a courtroom where giants ruled and make them tremble. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and stale power. Marcus sat at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit that screamed guilty before a single word was spoken. His court-appointed lawyer stared at his phone, bored. Across the aisle, the prosecutor strutted like a man already polishing his victory speech. The judge, Whitmore, cold, connected, and untouchable, a family name etched into Michigan's legal throne for 3 generations. And she just happened to be related to the very man accusing Marcus. The entire thing was a performance, scripted long before Marcus walked in. But when the prosecutor requested Marcus be held without bail, something inside Maya snapped. She stood. Her voice didn't shake. "Objection." At first, silence, then laughter. Not kind, not curious, the mocking howl of a pack sensing easy prey. But they were wrong. Maya wasn't prey. She was the blade hidden in the dark. "Sit down, young lady," the judge barked, but Maya didn't sit. "Under Michigan Court Rule 2.117, she said, steady as a sniper, "ineffective counsel justifies immediate intervention." The courtroom stilled. The judge blinked. The prosecutor stopped smirking. This wasn't a tantrum. This was strategy. The gallery leaned forward. Phones began recording. Even the bailiff hesitated, unsure if dragging out this tiny hurricane was wise. "State your name," the judge demanded. "Maya Thompson, daughter of the defendant." "You have no standing," the prosecutor sneered. "Actually," Maya countered, I have direct legal interest in my father's custody and well-being. Under People v. Garcia, minors may address the court. Gasps, whispers. The old system had just been punched in the mouth by a child with case law in her veins. And for the first time, Judge Whitmore wasn't entirely sure who was in control of her own courtroom. The public defender sputtered something about procedure, but Maya was already moving. She pulled a notarized affidavit from her battered folder. "My father," she said, raising it high, "has chosen me as his legal representative." The gallery erupted. Laughter, disbelief, even shouts. "She's 13, the prosecutor barked. "Age doesn't determine competence," Maya shot back. "Mozart wrote symphonies at 5. Mary Shelley wrote a masterpiece at 18. I can read, I can argue, I can win." Judge Whitmore's jaw tightened. Her instinct screamed to shut this down. But her training whispered caution. Anything rash here could trigger appeals, complaints, headlines. And the phones, God, the phones, dozens of them, live-streaming this legal earthquake in real time. The judge had stepped onto thin ice, and Maya Thompson had the hammer. "Miss Thompson," the judge said through clenched teeth, "this is a court of law, not a circus." "Then stop performing," Maya replied. Gasps swept the gallery. A bailiff took a step forward, then froze as Whitmore raised a hand. "The B." Prosecutor growled, "Your Honor, this child is wasting the court's time." "Wasting time?" Maya's eyes burned like coals. "You're charging an innocent man while real criminals walk free. You've hidden evidence. You've ignored conflicts of interest. And you want me silent because I'm the only one not pretending this is justice." The judge's gavel slammed like thunder. "Enough!" But even she felt it. The shift. Power, once concentrated behind the bench, was leaking into the hands of a girl who refused to blink. And the cameras weren't blinking either. The story was already leaving the courthouse. The world was beginning to watch. "Fine," Whitmore hissed. "If you want to play lawyer, prove you're competent." Her challenge was pure arrogance, an attempt to humiliate. "Ask me anything," Maya said. The prosecutor grinned like a predator. "Define mens rea." "And it's 4 levels." Without pause, Maya delivered a flawless, textbook-perfect answer, layered with context and an attack on the state's weak case. The grin faded. The next question fell. Then another. Miranda rights, evidence admissibility, chain of custody, Brady doctrine. Maya answered them all, not only with accuracy but with precision cuts to the prosecution's logic. By the time Whitmore asked her own question, grand theft elements under Michigan law, the gallery wasn't laughing anymore. They were leaning forward, devouring every word. And when Maya finished, Whitmore had no cards left to play. She had asked for proof. She'd just received a weapon. "This is unprecedented," Whitmore said, her tone a battlefield truce. "So was Brown versus Board," Maya replied. A ripple of awe moved through the room. Even some officers smirked. Finally, with the weight of her robe pressing like lead, the judge spoke. "This court will allow Miss Thompson to serve as co-counsel for the defense. Mr. Brewster remains counsel of record." The room exploded. Half cheers, half outrage. The prosecutor looked punched. Brewster looked relieved. Marcus looked like he'd just seen the first crack in a concrete wall he thought unbreakable. And Maya? She just breathed, steady, focused. One door had opened. The war was only beginning. "State your name," the prosecutor said, trying to steady his voice. "Bradley Hutchinson, night security supervisor." He described irregular keycard activity. Marcus's card, restricted areas, missing files, corrupted cameras. It sounded bad on purpose. The story was built to convict, not to discover. "No further questions," the prosecutor said smugly. "Miss Thompson, your witness." The room quieted as Maya walked up, every step deliberate. She didn't waste time. "Mr. Hutchinson, what time did you clock in?" He hesitated. 11. Maya held up logs. You clocked in at 11:47. That's 47 minutes late. Why lie? The man shifted. Car trouble. Did you report it? No. Maya's voice sharpened. You had administrator access, didn't you? Objection! The prosecutor barked. Overruled, Whitmore whispered, too curious to stop her. And just like that, the witness wasn't damaging Marcus anymore. He was damaging everything. Maya leaned in. You could alter keycard logs, couldn't you? I wouldn't. Could you? Yes, but nothing. Logs, corrupted footage, missing files, all things accessible to someone like you. Hutchinson squirmed. Sweat gathered. The gallery murmured. This wasn't a janitor's daughter fumbling in legal waters. This was a hunter smelling blood. The prosecutor tried redirect, but every question now dripped suspicion onto his own witness. By the time Hutchinson stepped down, he wasn't a shield for the state. He was a fracture, and everyone could see the cracks spreading. Marcus squeezed Maya's hand. For the first time in days, hope felt real. They weren't out yet, but the wall was starting to crumble. In the back of the courtroom, Richard Whitmore III entered like a thundercloud. The complainant, the blood relative of the judge, the man who'd started this entire nightmare. He tried to look confident, but his jaw clenched, his eyes flicked. Between Maya, the gallery, and the cameras now live-streaming every breath of this trial. Maya saw it immediately, fear disguised as fury. The timing of the accusation, the convenient camera failures, the keycard tampering, it all pointed higher than Hutchinson. This wasn't just a frame job, it was a cover-up. And now the architect of that cover-up had walked into the very arena where his control was slipping. Maya didn't smile. She just marked her next target. There was no official jury yet, but Maya didn't need 12 strangers in a box. She had tens of thousands watching live. Every time she exposed a contradiction, every time she cited law like breathing, the comments exploded. Let Maya speak trended. Nationwide. Politicians tweeted. Law professors debated. News anchors cut into scheduled programming. This wasn't a hearing anymore. It was a reckoning. And every new viewer meant more pressure on a judge whose name now burned under public scrutiny. Maya didn't need the system to want justice. She just needed it to fear what happened if it didn't. A junior partner took the stand next, supposed to corroborate the stolen document's value. But under Maya's calm questioning, he admitted he never actually saw Marcus near the files. All his information came from Richard Whitmore. Chain. Of custody, broken, proof of actual theft, non-existent, value of documents, estimated, not verified. By the end, he looked less like a witness and more like a pawn who realized mid-game he was expendable. The prosecutor objected. Overruled. The gallery, savoring every crumble of the prosecution's once solid wall, and somewhere in the back, Richard Whitmore III started texting furiously, damage control in real time. What began as a theft case was now a mirror, held up to a system everyone pretended worked. A janitor framed, a court stacked, a lazy defender, a biased judge, a prosecutor more interested in wins than truth. And in the center of it, a 13-year-old, armed with stubborn love and terrifying intellect, dismantling it piece by piece. Reporters outside now called it the trial that could change everything. Inside, Marcus sat taller, not because he felt safe, but because for the first time in years, someone, his daughter, had forced the world to see him. Whitmore's composure cracked behind the bench. Every objection overruled. Every motion she once signed without thought, now read aloud on live streams dissected by legal scholars in real time. Her chamber's phone buzzed like a dying hornet. Calls from the bar, the press, even her own nephew. She realized what Maya had done. She had turned this from a trial into an inescapable spotlight. Whitmore wasn't deciding Marcus's fate anymore. She was deciding her own. At recess, Crawford approached Maya, sweating. "We can make this go away," he whispered. "No," Maya said. "We'll drop the theft charge, just plead to negligence. Time served." "You framed my father," Maya replied coldly. "You think I'm here for discounts?" Crawford swallowed. "If this keeps going, careers will end." "Good," Maya said, walking back toward the defense table. Behind her, Marcus exhaled like a man reborn. Under pressure, Hutchinson cracked completely. On redirect, Maya laid out motive, access, and timing until his voice broke. "I didn't plan it," he said, eyes darting toward Richard Whitmore. "I just did what I was told." Gasps swallowed. The courtroom. "What were you told?" Maya pressed. "To plant evidence, to blame Marcus, to protect the firm." Chaos, cameras, a judge pale as parchment. The case wasn't just crumbling, it was detonating. Under pressure, Hutchinson cracked completely. On redirect, Maya laid out motive, access, and timing until his voice broke. "I didn't plan it," he said, eyes darting toward Richard Whitmore. "I just did what I was told." Gasps swallowed. The courtroom. "What were you told?" Maya pressed. "To plant evidence, to blame Marcus, to protect the firm." Chaos. Cameras. A judge pale as parchment. The case wasn't just crumbling, it was detonating. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarmed, microphones thrust forward. "Maya, what's next?" She looked at her father, then at the sky. "I'm going home," she said softly. "My dad needs dinner, then homework." Laughter broke the tension, but deep inside, everyone knew this was the start of something bigger. Law schools offered scholarships, civil rights groups reached out, politicians quoted her words, and in homes across the country, kids who once felt powerless saw someone their age rewrite the rules. Because Maya Thompson proved one terrifying truth to a broken system. Sometimes the smallest voice is the one that breaks the loudest lies. Please like and subscribe for more interesting stories.